Okay, so we're up to just the Mystic card. So I think we'll do Mystic by itself, and then we'll do the expansion slots and the generics, because most of the generics we'll probably skip through, because there's going to be a decent amount of just, pack filler, blanket effects. There are some good ones from memory, but yeah, we'll take our time with Mystic, and we'll also keep these, nice and short and digestible. So the Fable, let's start there, right? Have to tilt your head a little bit, but it has the first attack that targets you each turn gets -1. That's such a strong blanket effect, right? It's definitely going to, if you can get this out early, help you prevent a ton of damage over the course of Class Constructed. Now the caveat is at the beginning of each end phase, destroy this unless you've pitched, played, or defended with a blue card, right? That doesn't seem too hard to accomplish, right? So then what about the follow-up? If you've pitched, played, and defended with a blue card this turn, transcend. That is a curiosity to me, because I don't know if you necessarily want to transcend this card. Maybe if you want the chi in the moment, but obviously you have to trigger this on your opponent's turn, because you have to have defended as well, right? And not all like the first statement, but just keeping this around on board, just throwing out one blue block or just pitching for some other block is pretty crazy to me, right? And again, just a -1 every turn to you. Now, a little side note, I really wish this was the playmat art, right? So we got early concept art for the, what's it called? The collection. And I really wish it was this. That would just be a lot more meaningful, especially in, a beginner-friendly blanket product. But also, it's clear that blue is Mistveil, right? And then you've got the Zen token, and you have, again, the washed out. It's not horrible art, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't match the color scheme that they've gone with for the set, unfortunately, right? It's very arid. But anyway, little side note. So yeah, the Fabled is super strong, right? It's wonderful to see playable Fables. This is definitely going to be included in almost every Mystic CC deck that's competitive. Just again, it's such a strong effect once you get on board, and it's not a heavy ask. Okay, the legendary. Traverse the universe. When this defends, search your deck for an energy, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So 2 with Blade Break. Wonderful art. Pretty sick. Energy. It's debatable whether or not this is strong enough. It all depends on how the competitive meta, sort of shakes up. If they all can sort of go to the end game, and I mean, Nu kind of wants to go to the end game. Zen, you just benefit from being able to search energy. I mean, all it takes is one transcend card. That's the other way to put it. One transcend card pitched away, and then you can cash in the value of this card. So it could really shore up the game plan of all of them. And I think it is, again, just a fantastic L. The L's across the board seem pretty fantastic. So, yeah. Whether or not it replaces the staples in each class, we'll have to see. I think in Illusionist, it's probably definitely taken. In Nu, since it competes with the Legendary, I think maybe you stick with either that or Perdition. In Zen, it's whether or not Draw is more useful or on-demand one in a chi, right? All right, Aqua Sing Shell. Instant, turn this face up, draw a card, start your turn, destroy this. So it is a interesting alternative crown, right? So instead of gold, you have silver equivalent draw, but then you have the ability to still block with it and block with it as many times as your opponent decides to break the chain link. Plus the draw is on your opponent's turn, so that in itself is also well worth the 1 extra cost over the gold of the crown. So yeah, again, we're finally seeing some really good common slot equipment. I say that, and then we'll get into the actual pack filler, but I do like this. Now, the Koi Blessed Kimono. This is the one likable, one life effect that I like, right? So when you have 1 life, you may turn it face up. When it's turned face up, destroy it, search your deck for an energy, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Again, I think this could be strong enough as a comeback, but it feels like it needs a little bit more oomph to make it worth taking. Overall, in Limited, right, these cards are going to play fantastically and be that real, damn, you think I'm out? Nah. Wait and see. Right. Waves of the Aquamarine. Turn this face up. Target attack gets +1. Again, the same block mechanic if your opponent is smart or dumb enough, however you want to phrase it, right, to break the chain, then you can repeatedly block with this. So I guess there's super value out of that, because potentially, you could get 2-3 block off. Yeah. Most people know not to break the chain though. Otherwise, just pay 1, target attack gets +1, right? It's okay value. Aqualapse, now this is a bit different. So pay 1, target attack gets go again. So just as strong as Stilettos without the double reaction. Simple fact that it is a blanket go again to any card in the game is pretty crazy to me, right? It is a curiosity because anything they print generic, ninja, illusionist, or assassin going forward has to be worried that in these 3 heroes it can have go again at a relatively cheap cost. And that's pretty insane. Plus, it's unaffected, so if they ever go down the route of like equipment destruction or anything like that, the fact that it's cloaked, can't be disrupted, you're always going to reap its benefits. Just, yeah, blanket go again is insane to me that's becoming a widely accessible thing, right? At least, obviously, in New and Mystic, but, you know, it's sort of telling of power creep and where we're going in terms of the game's direction. Sky Crest. So, instant, destroy this, prevent 1 damage that we've dealt. It's just another, you know, prevent damage effect. It's instant, so it's kind of okay. It's Mystic. I don't know how to feel about it. We just have so much of this type of equipment, right? Seekers is what? Pay 1, opt, and prevent. Is that better? You know, the fact that this is instant. In Enigma, in Limited, I can see it being super useful. Again, being able to protect your stuff. Everyone else, it's kind of just value equivalent to whatever you have access to. But I would definitely still take the Sink Shell over it. I definitely take the boots over it. The arms, maybe not. But it feels like it needed one more little effect. Even just like 1 block or something. And then, I don't know. How would that work? To be able to block with it and then destroy it or something like that. Just a little bit extra. But maybe I'm wrong. Art-wise, it's okay. Cold form might be nice. It might be a decent common set to collect, depending on what they decide to do with the cold foils. If they're tasteful, if they target the white areas, I'll be disappointed. But if they stick to just the golds, the embroidery and everything like that, I'll be super happy with it. So only time will tell. Okay, Majestics. Attune with Cosmic Vibrations. When this attacks a hero or defends a hero, reveal the top card of their deck. If the revealed card is blue, gets +3 and +3. So yeah, I mean it's just deck techy, right? If you know you're gonna be playing against a lot of blues, it's really good value. 0 for 5 is fantastic to block. Attack for 0 for 5 is okay. Pitchable. That's probably the other thing to consider with it, right? Again, I think the M's overall are consistently strong, with this being on the lower side of it, but still kind of nice. Now, Cosmic Awakening. I was drastically wrong with this card, which is a bit sad because I was hoping to do some shenanigans, but we have the ruling on Chi. Inner Chi is Chi, but also creates Chi, the resource, C, bracket, right? So you do have to pitch 3 Inner Chis for this, and yeah, it's an interesting concept because the whole ruling with floating is a curiosity why that ever matters. I mean, I suppose in the right circumstances, like Shifting Wind or all the low-cost ones, you could go from if you've pitched Chi. So, no, it still doesn't matter. What am I saying? You'd have to... The only scenario where it is relevant is if you play the Tenant for 4, you use 2 Chi, you float 2. How do you get that other one floated? Is there any way to end up floating 3? Is the ruling just redundant? Anyway, that's a tangent. So, 9 cost... 10, 15, and 20, depending on the amount of Chi that fulfills that 9. So if you pitch 3 in a Chi, it'll do a full 20. If you only pitch 1, it'll be 10. I think this is a very nice addition to the late game of every single Mystic, right? To me, it is a significantly stronger last-ditch effort, right? It's blue, it's still 3 block, but it has the potential, if you're just drawing in a Chi and this, to just be a 20 swing. And a 20 swing, even a 15 swing, to me seems well enough to be the only thing you do on your turn, right? So it could really counteract the one detriment of Inner Chi, which is very late game, you will be fatiguing. Now, in New, is that necessary? Probably not, because you're probably just spamming your ability and, you know, using the head piece, if that, or, you know, four pops of your ability trying to banish stuff could be decent enough. In Enigma, what could you do? You definitely always want a Spectral Shield, but at the same time, if you have a board state, this could just be the clincher, right? This on top of anything you already have. Well, no, you need one card in the arsenal. You need this in the arsenal for that to work. So, I think stat-wise, right, it could definitely be a very viable better last-ditch effort for Mystic across the board. Now, levels of Enlightenment, right? This is definitely the top end of the M's. It's just superb Enlightened Strike. So when the stacks, choose one for each blue card you've pitched. It's not ordered like Tooth and Claw from Ninja. It is you get to pick. You want to be draw a card, draw a card. You want to be +2, you want to have go again. But if you pitch 3 cards, if you've done any sort of combo shenanigans, then it's cycle, it's go again, and it's a 1 for 5. And that's pretty insane, right? So as long as you pitched a blue to play this, you can pick go again, you pick draw a card, and it's kind of just a better Enlightened Strike, obviously at sort of less damage, but again, to be able to pressure damage, go again, or pressure damage, draw a card, is kind of decent enough, in my opinion. If it's the last thing you do on your turn, it could allow you to get one more thing off, and that's super fantastic. I think it's definitely going to be included to some extent in most Mystics. Unravel Aggression. If a Chi was pitched to play this, draw a card, 3 for 5, with the potential to get another card. Yeah, so anytime you have that much value in block, and then also cycle, it's fantastic. It's just another Chi spender. So again, the whole theme of these are be blue so that they can be saved for the late game, and then it's just going to be value because again, you're able to restock your hand and block your opponents, which should definitely help you win the late game. Dense Blue Mist. Attacks that target you this turn gets -1. If Chi was pitched to play this, effects don't trigger if an attack hits you this turn. That is crazy, right? Fog Down. Did not see play, but that was attacks can't gain go again. This is that on steroids to me, because there are lots of cards that have go again on hit effect. There are lots of cards that do dangerous things on hit effects. So just being able to throw this out, do a -1 to their effects, and then if you have Chi, just hit effects worry you this turn is crazy, right? Effects don't trigger you if an attack hits you this turn. Now is that even scarier? If an attack has hit you, no effects trigger. Yeah, that's insane. Then we have the Tenants. Draw 2, so equivalent to cash in at instant speed, or draw 3 if a Chi was pitched, in which case it is just a super powerful draw card. And yeah, I think is definitely just an easy way to cycle and get to the good stuff. Again, if you're pitching 2 to draw 2, it's fine. It's 1 card less, but you float the resources. But if you do get the draw value out of it, it's a +1 to hand that's very easy to accomplish, and a float 2 resources. Yeah, fantastic. Plus, it also gets rid of the Chi, so that you have other stuff to do. So for instance, in Zen, if you're transcending and generating resources that way, right, you can then stockpile resources thanks to the legendary, use the Tenants, and get good cards to play. Love this card. Love any type of draw, right? Super excited. Second Tenant of Chi, Moon. If you transcend this turn, this gets, when this chain link resolves, draw a card. So it's very equivalent to its kin, right? We'll actually scroll down to the first Tenant of the Moon, which is the common. Next blue attack this turn gets, when this attacks, draw a card. I kind of like this better, right? Because it can't be shut down. Yes, it has the condition of hitting a blue, but it's also 0 cost compared to 3. So you have to transcend, you have to then pay 3 for this. It then attacks, doesn't have go again, and it's just draw a card. So I feel like the first Tenant, despite being common, is significantly better than the second Tenant, but both are interesting cards nonetheless. Blue and block. Then we have second Tenant of Chi Tide, right? So Moon, Chi, is there a third one? Yeah, Win. So if you're transcendent, gets +2. If we go straight to the first Tenant of Tide, next blue attack gets +2. Again, the fact that these don't have the transcend condition, right? The fact that they go on to other stuff just seems a bit better overall. But, as a pack filler attack, I'm sure it has its uses. The problem is a lot of attacks, right, in the filler slot, well, usually you want your in-class attacks because they have the, juicy effects that really feed into what your class is trying to do. Just a blanket buff is not really that exciting, especially when you're paying 3, not floating anything. It's only doing 7 for 3, which is kind of low for just a naked attack as well. Yeah. All right, Wind, Transcend, this gets go again. This is probably the most interesting because of 5 for 3 with go again. Could be something, but again, the first Tenant, blue attack, gets go again for 0. I like it more. Deep Blue, right, half a final act. So this gets +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. I would be incredibly excited for this if Illusionist didn't have 3 visits, right, which is 3 times a final act for the same cost, right? 3 to play it and then 1 to swing with Cosmos. So it's definitely exciting, right? Final Act can be played in all 3 classes and fairly easily. In fact, Mystic has a lot more draw than Melody, and yeah, for me, it's a wonderful card. It is a very beautiful card, and it's just straight up shenanigans. So what's not to like? White Blue Yonder. Target attack gets +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. So this is the other half of Final Act, right? So 1 Deep Blue and 1 White Blue Yonder. It's equivalent to Final Act, right? The fact that it's split between 2 cards, 4 cost, you might think is a detriment, but it's really not, right? Because 4 just means you get to pitch a few more, and then, yeah, do more damage. So it's a bit easier to actually land because you don't have to worry about having, X amount of silver, having X amount of cycle. You've got some cost in the actual card to spend. Then we have Big Blue Sky. This gets +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. Again, I think it might shine in Illusionist just because Illusionist has a lot more stuff to do on your opponent's turn. And everyone else, I think it's on the weaker side, right? It's definitely a fun, flavorful effect. But yeah, I feel like it just works best in Enigma because everyone else doesn't have too many things to do on the opponent's turn. I mean, just getting the value out of, doubling it up with another block, right? So first attack, you block with something you have to pitch, and then second attack, this has, 3. Kind of okay. If it was blue in both pitch zones, I feel like that would be kind of cool and a lot more interesting and might make it a nice tech card. Then we have the string of comments. Now, this is curious to me because it's almost like they included an extra equipment set. Now, the nice thing is at least these don't come in cold foil, but they are, very simple to understand. 0 for 2 with +2, 1 for 3 with +2, right? They just increase by 1. So they're just filler. They're not going to do much. Wash Away. If you play another blue card, gets +2, right? Kind of just feels a bit better than Big Blue Sky. Yes, you have to pitch it. I mean, this into Big Blue Sky could be something, right? That's sort of a nice defense combo. The chances of you having both is not going to work out in your favor, though. So yeah, more pack filler. Already done the Tenants. Then we have the Transcend cards. Now, there are definitely some standouts here, right? Preserve Tradition, being able to cycle back an action card, attack or non-attack, is fantastic. Rising Sun, Setting Moon, being able to cycle a card, again, get chi, get even more benefit in Zen, is fantastic. The other ones, definitely interesting, right? Path Well Traveled, anything gang and go again, we do like. But then we have target attack gets -1, gain a life, bash target card from the opposing hero's graveyard, shuffle, and target attack gets +1. I like the easy to play because it's just a no-brain thing, generate the chi, but they do have uses, and all of them can be thought about this way, right? They are blue pitchable that actually have a, okay to average to great effect. And that's insane, because they are basically, 8 gems. The Heart is pitch for 3, gain a life. The Eye is pitch for 3, opt. The Arknight Shard is pitch and generate a rune chant, right? These are, if you've played a blue, that's the caveat, do something and pitch. If you haven't played a blue, then they're fine. They're just a 3 pitchable, right? So I do like them. And yeah, Preserved Tradition, Setting Sun are definitely standouts. So I do like the Transcend mechanic and chi building and all that. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Anyway, that's Mystic done. 1 to go. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.